T20.
Hello and welcome everyone to the T20 news. Last weekend we had our Season 1 Episode 1 tournament start with the semifinals. We watched S.E.E.S take out Busted and Zeus Quad take out Solarian's fan club. And now we'll see S.E.E.S and Zeus Quad head to the finals for the coming Sunday. But before we run into the finals, let me introduce to you Comber from S.E.E.S 2.0 and the Doc 29 from Zeus Quad in short interviews. We'll start with the Doc 29 from Zeus Quad. Trying to figure out the Doc's weaknesses is hard. Whatever he ends up playing, he is a pillar for his team. Last Sunday, we spotted him playing support as well as firepower. Hi Doc, I hope you're doing fine. Are you enjoying the tournament so far?
Yes, the tournament's been great so far. I was really concerned at the end of last season when the PPL League was falling through. But I think the Turn 20 League really stepped in and was able to provide a good alternative. I think the new format is really interesting, and I am very optimistic for the future of the Turn 20 League.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. So, people have seen your name around for a while now, but when did you actually start playing Atlas Reactor?
I started playing Atlas Reactor way back in October 2016 during Season 1.
Yeah, that's been quite a while. What got you into Atlas Reactor, and what got you interested in the competitive scene?
So, way back when Season 1, I had two real-life friends who wanted me to try out the game, and I enjoyed playing it with them. I started out playing Lockwood, Aurora, Quark, and Zuki, and I reached Plat in Season 1. I didn't really get any interest in the competitive scene until Season 4. I had a few teams contact me, and I had played a practice in Season 4. It wasn't until S.E.E.S actually took me on as a sub in the season that they won PPL. However, I never played a competitive game with them. But at the beginning of Season 5, Tagarius messaged me, and he had liked how I was playing in ranked solo queue, and he asked me to join his new competitive team that he was forming. So that's how I ended up joining Zeus Quad. And as of now, I'm pretty much loyal to Tagarius, and I'm going to be playing with him as long as he needs me.
Long way, but I'm glad you found a place to be. If you had to choose, what would you keep though? The puns of Atlas Reactor or your favorite Lancer?
You know, I'm not really familiar with the puns of Atlas Reactor, to be honest, so I'm going to stick with Suren on this one. I think she's very different from the other supports, and if you can master her, she's very rewarding to play and very fun to play. You'll never get bored playing her.
Yeah, well, she has quite a few ways you can play her. I get that. Alright, looking back at last Sunday in your matches against Solarian's fan club, your team had a rough start. What or whom got your motivation back on board?
We won on Sunday entirely thanks to iNoob. He came in and subbed in Game 3, and he played really well. The team atmosphere at the end of Game 2 was the worst I've ever seen Zeus Quad. I didn't think we were going to be able to come back and even play Game 3 at that point, but iNoob came in, and he was like, quote, "Don't worry, we got this team. You got the noob, you can't lose now. We can win, we can come back from the series." And we did coming back from the series, and at the beginning of Game 5, it was pretty much a scenario where we were expecting to win that game, and we were expecting to play S.E.E.S next weekend. And it's entirely thanks to iNoob and his optimism that really helped us get over our slump. You know, good play is, of course, important in Atlas Reactor, but some people really underestimate the optimism that a teammate can bring to an environment. And coming in from a 2-0 deficit with a team that's tilted off the face of the planet, being able to get your optimism even in the face of danger, I really have to credit iNoob to our victory last Sunday.
It sounds wonderful that you have someone like that. Really precious. Um,
I agree.
no, it's really it's unique. It's perfect. Last Sunday, we've also seen you play a lot of firepower for 3 of the matches. I think Zuki twice and once it was Gray. And you played support the other 2 matches. Do you prefer both roles or actually one over the other?
So, as I mentioned before, I played Lockwood in season 1 and support for the rest of it for season 2. So, I've really been a support main up until about season 4 and 5. That was the point where I was like really tired of supporting bad firepowers in solo queue, so I decided to like crack down and play firepower more. I play what the team needs me to play in situations, so I'm very flexible. If I had to give a preference, though, I would say 55% firepower, 45% support, because it's more fun to do damage than to support your teammates.
But that's pretty close, yeah.
It's pretty close, but I'm not going to lie. Like, I do have a slight preference, but if Dagarius needs me to play a support, I'm gonna play a support, because at the end of the day, and it's the same way I treat ranked solo queue. If I see a person hovering a certain role, say they're hovering support, I'm gonna play firepower. If they hover firepower, I'm gonna play support, because I want to win at the end of the day. That's the most important. So it's a team game at the end of the day, you know.
Right. So you mentioned prior that you prefer Suren as your favorite Lancer. But we did spot you play Finn twice last Sunday. Where does he stand in your ranking of your favorite Lancers, and what made you play him twice last Sunday?
So the interesting about Finn is I have a love-hate relationship with him. And you kind of saw it if you watched the series between us and SFC last Sunday. So in game 1, I did nothing. I died twice. I played horribly. I wasted my catalyst, and I didn't do anything, and we lost the game because of it. But in game 5, I was able to hang back and do a lot of support and take 0 damage, which I was super proud of. At the end of the day, I would say that I still prefer Sue, Ren, and Quark, because I think they're more fun to play. Finn, Aurora, and Orion are definitely tier 1, so I have to play them. Simple as that for the team. And
but for the fun sakes, yeah.
For the fun sakes, yeah, I would rather play Sue, Ren, and Quark. So definitely more fun to play and more rewarding to play, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's a game, and the game is about fun, right?
Of course, yeah.
In all of your games against Solarian's fan club last Sunday, a frontliner would end up with the most damage on your team. Except for that one game where you actually played Gray. That game you definitely held the record in damage. What do you think led to that result?
We can let the community debate this one, but this is basically the role of firepower in this current season, this current patch. The frontliners have more room for error, and if they get themselves into trouble, they can dash and still do damage. However, if I'm playing Zuki, Gray, Lockwood, whatever, 120 HP firepower, if I dash, I'm basically opting to do 0 damage that turn, essentially, which adds up at the end. So realistically, a firepower is probably going to get Devastator in most of their games throughout this patch until Trion figures out otherwise what they want to do. In the game with Gray, the reason why I was able to get Devastator is because they picked a really easy comp for me to play Gray in. They picked 2 immobile supports. They picked L, which has a predictable dash, and they picked Rask, who has a predictable dash and really isn't going to dash unless he has his ult. So at the beginning of the game, they put all their buffs on Rask. They had them charge our supports, our backline, okay? So as Gray, I can dash halfway across the map. And especially on Cloudspire, if you don't focus Gray down, she's going to do high amounts of damage behind walls with the drone, being able to shoot and reveal so the supports can't use their catalyst on the run. Like, you have to punish the Gray on Cloudspire. And Solarian's fan club, they did the right thing by focusing Tagarius on her supports with their pressure with Ellen Rask, but they left me open to do a lot of damage in return. And because of that, I was able to basically, with the help of Ludic, I was able to put pressure on their back line and kill the Finn, kill the Orion, basically force them in a situation where, yeah, they could catalyst, but they were revealed, so they're going to get revealed either way. So I think Gray is very tricky to play in this patch, and I think every single 120 HP firepower is tricky to play in this patch, including Zuki, who is probably top tier, honestly, right now. But it's still doable, and you just have to pick the right situation, and you have to realize that there are certain situations where you have to dash on 120 HP firepower, or you're going to die. And if you're down,
the trade is definitely not worth it. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely for Gray too. Like if you dash too late on Gray, you might as well not dash at all because your dash is very predictable. But since Solarian's fan club focused the backline, they left me wide open to do a bunch of damage that turn or that game. So that pretty much was the reason why. Any other situation, a front line is going to get devastator.
The coming Sunday, your team is going to face S.E.E.S 2.0. Do you feel like your team is prepared enough to face such a strong opponent? And are you looking forward to play against them?
I am definitely looking forward to play against S.E.E.S 2.0. We've only played them once in a scrim this season, really early on in the preseason, right when the season was announced, and they smashed us. So they're definitely a tough team. And I have to say that last season, playing against Midnight, in all the series we played against, whether we won, tied, or lost against them, that was the most fun Atlas Reactor I've played in my entire life. It was super competitive, back and forth, and any team could have won it. And to put this in perspective, I think S.E.E.S 2.0 is, they honestly might be an even stronger team than Midnight. So that's very scary going into Sunday, knowing that S.E.E.S 2.0 is essentially a super team. They're all high contender. They're all really good players, but I have to believe in the practice that we've been getting this past week and that we can at least put up a series with them. And at the end of the day, we were able to put up a series against Midnight. So it's anyone's game on Sunday. So I think we can have a very close, hopefully take it to game 5 and a close game against them.
Well, if you want my 2 cents, I wouldn't dare bet on any team.
That's a bold prediction, you know.
Yes, you're both really good teams, and I'm very excited to see the finals being played out. But yeah, that's that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
2 things I want to add really quick. And I kind of rambled on a bit earlier about 120 HP Fire Lancers, but if you're listening to this, Bladum, please come back. We miss you. I know 120 HP Fire Lancers suck now, and the front line's probably going to do the most damage at the end of the day. But if you do end up doing the most damage as 120 HP firepower, you're going to feel very rewarded because of it, because it's a very rough meta for squishies right now. And there needs to be someone to play the best Lockwood in Atlas Reactor. Aww. And then the last thing I want to say is I've noticed my team leader, Tagarius, has a very popular following with his Twitch stream and his website. However, if you ever are reading his guides, please don't take his advice on using your catalyst, because it's bad advice. And especially in this meta, you need to take as little damage as possible if you want to survive as 120 HP firepower. There's certain situations where I agree where you need to die for the benefit of the team, but I have seen many situations where I was like, if I'm in Tagaria's shoes, I catalyst here, I avoid taking 100 plus damage this turn, and then I have a good rest of the game because I'm not down the 40 HP. So
all right. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna shred you, right? He's not gonna eat you for that.
Tagarius loves me too much to shred me. So
all right.
As long as I play well for him.
Anything else?
No, that's about everything. I'm looking forward to Sunday, and I'm definitely thankful for what the Turn 20 League, you guys being able to create a new league up from scratch, being able to hold a stream every day or every Sunday and be able to have content. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the season.
I'm really glad to hear that. Well, thank you a lot for the insight. We got to learn a lot about you. and it was very nice and pleasant. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Best of luck next Sunday. The next person I'd like to introduce is just as interesting. Comber, the team captain of S.E.E.S 2.0, plays a well-rounded selection of frontliners, never failing his teammates and always having a stable, solid gameplay, which does mirror in his numbers. Hello Comber,
Okay.
How are you holding up? Are you ready for the episode's finals this weekend?
Yeah. I think my team is pretty excited since it's our first finals as a team. And yeah, we're looking to play some good games of Atlas.
For how long have you personally been playing Atlas Reactor?
I've been playing since the game entered open beta, so I guess about 1.5 years. I think my brother was just looking through the Steam store one day and he found the game, so we just tried it together and we just got hooked by the uniqueness of the game.
Oh, lucky you have your brother. Have you played competitive games before you became part of S.E.E.S?
No, I think it's my first time playing competitive. About a year back, I played in another Atlas tournament, but it was also with S.E.E.S, even though it was with a different roster. But yeah, it was the same team.
Well, at least you bring in some experience from before. A little bit. And what influenced you the most to dive
Pardon?
into the competitive Atlas Reactor? Like, what is your motivation? What are your goals?
Obviously, we're trying to be number one in the world. Since I just thought that since I was pretty good at Atlas, since I got the top of the ladder, so I might as well try to make a competitive team.
In the matchup against Busted last Sunday, you played Rask, then you played Asena, and you played Bryn. All different frontliners. Which one of these games was your favorite one and why?
Probably the last game since I did like 500 damage, and it feels good to do a lot of damage because you can just tell the rest of the team that you're carrying and they're not doing anything.
Well, that sure sounds like fun. How confident are you on other frontliners though, like aside from Rask, Asena, and Bryn?
I think I can probably play some Isadora and Garrison. It's just that our team comps tend to go towards one of the top 3, so
It makes sense at the moment, yeah. Last weekend we got to watch you play against Busted and you won in a 3-0 series of a best of 5 in the semifinals. What would you say you were able to learn from these games? What has Busted taught you and your team that might benefit you in the finals?
in general, we saw how viable a double frontliner comp can be against different team compositions, and what kind of situations we should try to go for it. I think double frontline is pretty strong now against a lot of the popular team comps, so we'll definitely be keeping a lookout for it in the finals.
Point taken, definitely. So your finals will be against the team Zeus Quad. They formed around the same time as good old S.E.E.S and have proven to be worthy opponents from the very get-go. Are you excited to meet them? How confident are you looking at the upcoming matches against Zeus Squad?
This is our first time meeting them in an official match, so I think we're pretty pumped since it's also a quite an important match. I think we should be able to do quite well since we'll be getting a lot of play practice in and doing a lot of theory crafting on our strategies. So I'm hoping we can put that to good use this weekend.
I'm sure you can. Do you have any advice for newer players of how to survive Atlas Reactor's world of puns?
Just react to it.
Just react to it. I'll take that home with me. So, Comber, is there anything you'd like to add?
I'd like to give a shout out to Magister for recruiting me to the original S.E.E.S team and introducing me to the competitive scene. I think without him, I probably wouldn't even be playing right now. So, yeah, much thanks to him.
That's precious. All right, Comber, thank you for your insight, and it was nice to meet you. And good luck
it was
for
nice
the
to meet you
finals
too.
this Sunday.
Thank you.
After such great insight, thanks to Comber and the Doc 29, we are all fire and flames for the upcoming matches this Sunday. Speaking of which, Atlas Reactor has opened its ranked doors again and brings in the newest freelancer, Lex. With that, she is also going to be available for the tournament finals and future Turn 20 matches. I am sure we can expect some special heated gameplay in the competitive scene from now on. Thank you all for watching. Until the next time with your Turn 20 news.